Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on enhancing trial oversight, leveraging eClinical solutions for effective monitoring. My name is Pooja, and I'm thrilled to facilitate this session, and we're excited to have such a diverse audience here today. This session is all about exploring how modern eClinical solutions can transform clinical trial oversight, reduce inefficiency, and accelerate decision-making. Before we begin, let's take a moment to go over some housekeeping items. This session is recorded and all participants are muted. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to submit them in the questions tab, and we'll address them during the live Q&A towards the end of the session. If you encounter any technical issues, feel free to let us know via the chat and our team will assist you promptly. Please ensure your devices are on silent mode. A recording of this webinar will be posted on our website and emailed to all who have signed up. We appreciate your participation and encourage you to stay engaged throughout the session. Let's take a quick look at today's agenda. We'll start by introducing Cloudbase and sharing a little about our journey and mission. Then we'll discuss the importance of trial oversight and the common challenges organizations face with traditional monitoring approaches. This will lead us into the solutions, how Cloudbase eClinical suite addresses these challenges through features like real-time data access, automation, and predictive analytics. To make this more tangible, we'll explore some real-world success stories from organizations that have partnered with Cloudbase. Finally, we'll wrap up with an exciting glimpse into the future of clinical trial oversight, followed by a live Q&A session to answer your questions. We're confident this session will provide actionable insights to help you rethink trial monitoring strategies. Now, let me introduce to our speakers who bring a wealth of knowledge and experience to today's discussion. Firstly, we have Dinesh Kashyap. We are honored to have Dinesh, the CEO of Cloudbase and a recognized digital strategy advisor in the industry. With over 25 years of experience in digital transformation, CRM strategy, and life sciences, commercial and clinical research, Dinesh is a leader in driving innovation in this space. He holds certifications from MIT, Johns Hopkins, and UC San Diego, and is also a Salesforce certified administrator. Dinesh specializes in helping life sciences organizations adopt the latest advances in business and technology, from drug development to pharma commercial strategy. His passion lies in improving patient outcomes, enhancing clinical operations, and driving digital transformations for the healthcare and life sciences industry. Under his leadership, Cloudbase has become a trusted partner for clinical trial sponsors and CROs worldwide. You can reach Dinesh directly at dinesh@cloudbase.com. Joining Dinesh is Corinne Cato, our pre-sales manager. Corinne brings hands-on experience in clinical trial operations and a deep understanding of eClinical technologies. She has worked closely with global trial sponsors and CROs, helping them leverage modern solutions to enhance trial efficiency and compliance. You can reach Corinne directly at corinne.cato@cloudbase.com. Together, Dinesh and Corinne will take us through today's discussion, offering practical insights and strategies you can take back to your teams. Now, let's take a moment to introduce you to Cloudbase. Before we dive into the main discussion, Cloudbase, a leading eClinical solutions provider, our platform is one of the fastest growing unified clinical trial management solutions in the market, designed 100% on the Salesforce platform, offering a unique blend of scalability, modularity, and configurability to suit your specific business needs and processes. At Cloudbase, we believe in empowering organizations of all sizes, from Fortune 500 companies to agile startups, to streamline their clinical trials, optimize operations, and accelerate the delivery of life-saving therapies faster to market. Our comprehensive suite of products covers the entire spectrum of clinical trial management, including the CTMS, our flagship product that facilitates seamless end-to-end project management for clinical trials, the CTBM, that is the clinical trial budget management tool, essential for managing the financial aspects of clinical research, the eTMF, our robust document management solution ensuring compliance and efficient data handling, the EDC, a powerful data management platform, and safety and pharmacovigilance that streamlines safety monitoring during and after clinical trials. We also pride ourselves on our innovation with the recent launch of our AI-powered platform, the clinicalwave.ai. featuring tools like ClinRedact, ClinExtract, and ClinDicom, which helps clinical trial users efficiently handle PHI and PII data across trial documents and DICOM images. Beyond our innovative solutions, Cloudbase has been recognized in the Everest Group's matrix as a leading provider of eClinical solutions, highlighting our commitment to excellence and innovation. Our products seamlessly integrate with existing systems, offering a unified workflow to ensure your clinical trial processes run smoothly and efficiently. Globally, we are present in 3 countries, with our headquarters in Chicago, USA, and regional offices in Toronto, Canada, and an offshore delivery center in Bengaluru, India, allows us to support clients across different time zones. Our solutions are fully compliant with global safety regulations, including FDA 21, CFR Part 11, GCP, HIPAA, and more, ensuring quality and security in every aspect of clinical trial management. Proudly, we are ISO 9001 and 27001 certified, and we continue to be recognized for our commitment to quality and security. We are also honored to have been featured among the top 5 emerging pharmacovigilance startups by Startup US and to be recognized by the Inc. 5000 as one of the fastest growing companies in America. For more information, you can visit our website, cloudbase.com, or reach out to us at info@cloudbase.com to book a personalized demo. We look forward to helping you bring life-saving therapies to market faster and improve patient lives worldwide. Now, without further ado, let me hand over to our CEO, Dinesh Kashyap, to kick off today's discussion. Over to you, Dinesh.
Thank you very much, Pooja. Hello, everyone. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone, for joining us today to discuss about the importance of the trial oversight and monitoring. Today, we will discuss about, importance of the trial oversight and monitoring and how a unified eClinical technologies and platform can help. And at the end, we'll also discuss about, how some of our customers are doing it. And we'll also be able to show you a brief overview about our solution, how customers are able to leverage using unified platform to achieve, efficient trial oversight and monitoring. So let's start with, understanding the importance of trial oversight and monitoring, right? So why is it so important for us to make sure that, the oversight and monitoring is very, very important to make sure to bring the trial very efficiently, to bring the therapies to market very efficiently and cost effective. Number one is, ensuring the data integrity. As all of us know that, in the industry, we are used to using very siloed systems and various systems where certain data sits in certain systems. And oftentimes it's extremely difficult to bring all of these different data together, whether it's a trial operations data or EDC clinical data or quality data or a safety data together. It's extremely difficult to bring all of those different data points together, right, to have it, seamless overview about that particular data. And that affects the reliable results to make sure that, all the comprehensive data is available at one place. And consistency on the quality of the data, right? Oftentimes, with the siloed system approach, we often have duplicated data points in different systems, right? By the time you collect all of that into one place, the qualities are questioned to understand, which data point is really a true data point. And also sometimes, we do see that, the data loss, maybe sometimes, the source data files are not received or somewhere kept or not necessarily tagged, and making sure that, this is not causing issues when it comes to preparedness for the inspections and regulatory compliance and so on and so forth. And we are also seeing that, it's very important to make sure that, the participant safety is utmost important to bring this data together, because especially the adverse event data, especially from the standpoint of the oversight and monitoring, since adverse event and the safety tracking is time sensitive, it's extremely important to make sure that, up to date adverse event data or safety data available at the time of the oversight without any time delay and without any quality issues. And so that, that kind of brings in a very informed decision at the time of, safety evaluation, adjudication, and regulatory reporting. And if there are any, the protocol adjustment that needs to be done, some cases, that can be done much sooner or earlier than it's too late, right? And that basically drives the regulatory compliance and making sure that you get a high degree of confidence in terms of the trial operational process or driving the more regulatory compliant manner. So that way, we can achieve that with a greater degree of confidence. And again, being in this space, we all of us know that achieving regulatory compliance is extremely important. Making sure that the research operations are audit ready at any point of time, right? So it's extremely important because that gives a degree of confidence both from the companies as well as the auditors to make sure that all of this information is readily available in single source or single place. And also the regulatory standards, and it makes it easier to adopt the regulatory standards if all of these different systems are brought together from the data standpoint as well as from the process standpoint. And that basically helps the inspection preparedness much more efficient, much more confident, right? And most importantly, right, as we have seen that, oftentimes the more, the delays happen because of the lack of visibility of the right data at the right point. So bringing all of this data together and the process together in one place and unified system basically helps to minimize the trial delays and cost overruns and makes it much more efficient. So by doing that, right, basically we can identify risks early and address them early. And also we can efficiently allocate the resources which are needed, right? So sometimes, if you can look at what is really going on from the, monitoring standpoint, from the data standpoint, you can actually deploy your, CRAs or monitoring resources based on the risk which are being identified, based on the system which is being triggering, some of the risk areas, so that we can really make it more proactive risk-based approach for monitoring, which basically significantly reduces the cost and also it makes it much more efficient as well. And it also reduces the repeat works. Oftentimes, as we discussed earlier, right? If the data is sitting in the different systems, different places, it's extremely difficult. There's a lot of duplicate work is needed to make sure that the data is compliant and bringing that data together. It's always a challenge. And oftentimes, operational team ending up doing a lot of redundant work in different systems, but having one unified system so that you can pretty much make it much more simpler and seamless and streamlined. So that basically brings in the efficiency as well. And the last, so it's extremely important as companies run clinical trials, right? So bringing the the transparency process and the reliable trial outcomes ultimately impacts the therapy access to the patients and also the trust among the public to make sure that it has been well integrated data point which goes to FDA for approval, and also ultimately that success of those trials, the quality of the trial, and the faster approval basically brings in much more reputation and confidence in the therapy which is being rolled out in the market upon approval. So what we have seen and what we have learned is that 50% of the trial delays can be attributed to insufficient monitoring and oversight, right? So that's exactly what we are trying to address in this session. So definitely we'll go dig deeper into each of these items and see how unified clinical platforms can solve and help to achieve this goal. The challenges in the traditional monitoring approach, as we discussed, right? So oftentimes the clinical trial process, right? So the different systems, siloed systems are used, Excel spreadsheets, paper, CTMS systems, legacy systems, or UDC systems, safety, eTMF. Many systems are being used. What happens is with this approach is that these are all disconnected data sources, right? And there is a limited data sharing and the risk of data inconsistency, right? So the high, dependency on manual process, because oftentimes all of these different process, systems needs to be brought together. The SOPs are defined in a way that certain tasks and certain processes are done in certain systems. So oftentimes, it brings in a lot of manual, labor-intensive data entry issues, and as well as the increased administrative overburden, and burden, and also the inconsistent documentation. And again, delayed reporting and limited real-time insights. So, in terms of the monitoring standpoint, traditionally it has been very reactive, only when the issues arise and when those issues are monitored over a period of time. So then only, oftentimes the monitoring is, done. But with this has been the biggest challenge because this is more of a reactive monitoring rather than the proactive monitoring. So it also brings, through the challenges of limited visibility, oftentimes, the adverse reactions, for example, adverse events not reported in time, or at least even though they're reported, they're sitting in some other systems, may not be having right visibility. Right? Same thing goes with the protocol deviations or any financial information, so on and so forth. Right, so that kind of gives and brings in a challenge of limited visibility. So it's very difficult to make right decisions at the right time. And even when they're identified, the reaction and resolving those issues are very slow as well, because this has to pass through different systems and different processes and so on and so forth. And that's the biggest challenge in the traditional monitoring approaches. And of course, compliance risk and audit challenges. We have seen this, going through our disconnected systems and disconnected processes. We have always seen that there has been so much of effort needed. There's always compliance risk, data, readiness and preparedness, and also if there are any gaps which are identified during the audit, there is a risk of penalties and consequences with that, right? So there is always a level of confidence going into audit, and so again, having these disconnected processes and disconnected systems will always throw this challenge of not having enough confidence, and making sure that there's a lot of focus has been put in place or effort put in place to bring all of those things together, be audit ready. And this results into high operational cost and huge resource allocation issues, right? So oftentimes, especially in the current times where the cost is a huge concern, right? And not many customers or many research operations have luxury of having resources, right? So again, it's very difficult. This requires a frequent site visits, and that requires heavy CRS staffing, which is a high cost operations. Insufficient resource utilization. Oftentimes not be able to use the right resources at the right levels, and obviously escalating cost, because most of it is kind of driven based on the reactionary mode, very manual, very disconnected processes, the lack of degree of confidence. So these are the traditional monitoring approaches what we have seen, and we also seen that 40% of the clinical trial costs are attributed to insufficient monitoring processes which are being followed traditionally. So how does a unified eClinical solutions can help, right? So if you really look at it from the each process standpoint, right? So the data standpoint, the unified clinical systems and platforms can break down the data silos and process silos, and they can actually centralize the data points from all different process areas, whether it is a study startup, whether it is a eTMF, whether it is essential documentation collection, or whether it is a CTMS, process management, budgeting, and as well as the clinical data management, safety management, and so on and so forth, right? So that basically what happens, the unified eClinical solution becomes a single source of truth for all the clinical data, whether it is the operational data, whether it is the regulatory documentation, or with the clinical data or a safety data, right? These platforms comes with the integrated capabilities, integrated systems, right? Which basically enhances the data consistency. And also, we can, leveraging this unified approach, we can also automate a lot of data capture and reducing manual effort, right? Whether it is EDC data collection, protocol deviation collection, or adverse events collection, across the process, whether it's from all the way from the startup, conduct, and closeout. Throughout this process, right, you can pretty much automate data points across the board so that we can get right workflow automations, notifications, which can be automated through the process. So the real-time monitoring and proactive risk management is huge benefit because all the data points are coming together in one central location. So that basically enables real-time monitoring of the different data aspects. So whether it is the trial data monitoring, whether it's the clinical data monitoring, whether it's protocol or adverse event monitoring or patient monitoring, so on and so forth. And that basically drives instant insight so that the team can make a right decision at the right time. And also this enables team to address any issues proactively as well, right? And it also enables much more effective risk-based monitoring, right? So that way you can pretty much identify each of the risk items, and then all of those data points can compare to the risk thresholds, and the system can alert when those thresholds are met, and that basically helps monitors to look at the right data points at the right time, and then decide whether they need a monitoring or not. Or sometimes they can even decide whether there's on-site monitoring is needed, or centralized remote monitoring is sufficient to address those needs. But the fact is that those decisions can be driven much earlier, much more proactively rather than being reactive. And this brings ability to report the data across the board, whether it is the clinical operational data, the startup data, or regulatory documentation data, or clinical data. So all of these data points are available as the integrated and centralized repository or a location. So that way, operational team can drive centralized deep analytics, and with predictive capabilities, right? You can actually see how the trials are going, whether it's we can actually compare by site or study by study, patient by patient. So you can actually drill down into various aspects of the clinical operations, and you can look at all across the operational capabilities, whether it is the financials, whether it's a budget or a payments or a project management aspect, schedule aspect, right, and clinical data aspects, so on and so forth. So it basically enables data-driven decision making, and also the predictive modeling. It also helps the ability to predict how likely you are about to close particular the trials by site basis, or throughout the trial example. And also visualization helps you to see the trial oversight in much more presentable format, so that you can easy to understand how the trials are going. So this also drives improvement in the compliance and audit readiness as well. So the automated compliance tracking, for example, you can actually set different alerts and notifications when certain data points are missed. For example, say for example, if there is a regulatory documentation is missing, right? System can alert, right? Same thing, when particular adverse event came in, and it can trigger series of tasks which can be automatically assigned to safety adjudicators, so that they can perform those tasks automatically as well. So, and these are all the kind of automation features are available in the unified platform. And then the documentation for the audits, I can actually the system can help what all the documentation needed to be ready for the audit, right? With a completely improved transparency and high degree of confidence. And ultimately the cost efficient and scalable solution as well. So basically, they bring all of these different processes together. So there is no duplication of data or duplication of process areas. And all of these come together, and the entire process unification basically reduces, right, monitoring cost, the scalability for the global trials, because the solution is scalable. So you can have one platform which can scale to multiple global trials. We don't have to worry about setting up different systems in a different geographic locations, for example. You can pretty much scale the one platform globally and collect all the centralized data. And efficient resource allocation. This also enables and helps efficient resource allocation across the trial operations as well. Based on our experience, we have seen that up to 20% reduction in overall monitoring cost has been observed in the eClinical solutions where our customers are deployed. Right, this basically brings in kind of a added efficiency and the cost reduction in cost for all the clinical trial operations monitoring. So some of the the features of benefits of our cloud-based eClinical solutions, because our customers have been already leveraging these benefits which we talked about. And so what are the ways which can further enhance the clinical our oversight and the monitoring? Number one is our solution, a cloud-based eClinical solution, becomes a unified data hub for all of the different data, like it's the centralized data repository for clinical operational data, regulatory data, as well as the clinical data and the safety data, and enhances collaboration across these different departments and teams, and improves data quality because the data quality is addressed at the proactive at the time at the source itself, so it's not a reactionary. And also our platform enables advanced analytics and real-time reporting, comprehensive eTMF integration, right? Because we have integrated eTMF capabilities built into it. So pretty much, the eTMF document management is intertwined with clinical operations every step of the way, along with the EDC and safety data as well. And you can actually link corresponding documents at the process level for each of these while managing and maintaining regulatory aspects of the organizing of the trial master file as well. This also enables, right, complete risk-based, monitoring in real-time basis. So you can actually define these, risk thresholds, and you can actually monitor these risk thresholds, in a real time, and you can decide, how you want to deploy the monitoring and risk assessment and risk resolutions. And also, this also enables, right, the remote data capture capabilities, right? So our solution also helps the investigator portal and site portal, where you can actually collaborate with sites and investigators in real time, so that way you can pretty much get the real time data and visibility into those. And this also helps to enable decentralized trial processes as well. So you don't need a different platform to run hybrid trials or decentralized trials, because this also already brings in all the capabilities needed to run a decentralized trial, right? And our solution also enables high degree of configurability and customization, which basically means that each study or each therapeutic area, right, and you can pretty much tailor the solution based on the needs, right? So it could be a very specific and study specific configurations, workflow automations, and so on and so forth. And whether it's you want to define a role-based data visibility or data access, right? All of those are enabled. That basically means that you can pretty much run different therapeutic area trials or different phases of the trials in the same single unified platform, leveraging the benefits of what this unified platform can offer. Right? And compliance and audit readiness, right? So with automated compliance monitoring, so you can pretty much set up all of these different audit parameters as and when you collect and through the trial process, and making sure that each and every data record in the system is audit trial enabled, so that we can actually manage and monitor that all across the with a greater degree of confidence that okay, all of these are data points are ready, and also the entire system is audit ready at any point of time. So, and with that, right, so the platform also enables instant document access, whether it is the partners, vendors, investigators, patients, no matter, platform enables the seamless collaboration across stakeholders, making it, that their documents availability in instantaneously. For example, any essential documentation which is being uploaded through an investigator portal, same document is instantly available for the startup team internally as well. So there is no need of, exchanging those documents via email and maintaining it in eTMF and and bringing it back into CTMS. So all of that is not needed, because everything is collected in one central location, and that document is available across the team members. So what you've seen is that based on our experience and observations, that 25% right of the companies using Cloudbase reported 20 improvement in 25% of the improvements in trial efficiency due to centralized customizable platform. So very quickly, so leveraging the real-time data for proactive monitoring, we did touch upon some of these items already. So very quickly, so availability of the data, because the data is all trial data, right? All the way from study startup data feasibility data or eTMF data, or, operational data, clinical data, safety data, everything is available in one centralized location. It kind of helps you the visibility of the data. It also helps risk identification and mitigation, faster decision making, right, and also predictive analytics, so that we can actually look at how the things are coming up, so that we can actually make those we can foresee those predictive monitoring activities, and preventive. You can also take preventative actions and decisions, and also enables and facilitates decentralized monitoring as well. So very again, with the data visualization, now that the entire clinical data is available in one central location through this process, so you can pretty much drill down into various types of data visualization and analytics, which we want to walk you through some of the very brief view about how that can look like. So it's the customizable and interactive dashboards. You can actually bring in very configurable, customizable interactive dashboard to visualize all different set of data, right? Whether it's operational data or regulatory data or clinical data, and very clear and intuitive designs. You can actually look at graphical representation of the data points and various ways. You can also look at this by role based. You can actually look at the data based on senior executive who is looking at overall study oversight from the clinical operations standpoint. You can also drill down to a specific role, such as CRA role or a monitoring role or a project manager role. You can also look at the data that way too. And good thing is it's all real-time data which we are looking at, right? And also you can define your own KPIs and metrics. So though Cloudbase eClinical solution comes with more than 200 plus KPIs built in already, but on top of that, you can also bring in your own KPIs and metrics. You can bring in a comprehensive tracking of the overall KPIs and across Oversight. You can drill down to each of the data points, and you can drill down to the point of the records as well. You can drill down and and view the exact snapshot of that particular record in the system. And then in the predictive and prescriptive analytics, pretty much you can define those parameters which you would like to monitor as a signals for the predictive standpoint, right? And also you can the whole centralized will also enable and enhance decision making with the right visuals and insights. So with our observations, we have seen that data visualization analytics can reduce data review time by up to 40%, allowing teams to focus on critical decision making. This is based on experience what we have observed, customers leveraging our platform. So and our solution also enables high degree of configurability and customization. So our customers can enable or leverage these capabilities to make sure that the platform is can meet their very trial specific or their own clinical operation specific requirements, and the platform can adapt to their process requirements and their needs, and enabling high degree of configurability and customization based on their needs. Right, and our solution also supports role-based access, right, and also enables data export and import options. You can actually export the data to a statistical analysis or any other, right, and our solution also enables customizable workflows to streamline processes. Now, given that all of these data points and the process are integrated with a unified process, so you can imagine high degree of process automation all the way from plant order, conduct, and closeout, right? So that brings in huge process optimization, and it makes it highly scalable as well, right? And it's very easy to use, forms. You can actually create, point and click, drag and drop forms. So you don't need to worry about creating, programmed way of creation of the, ECR forms, in the legacy systems, what we have seen. With our centralized solution, you can pretty much configure these ECR forms and the overall UI by just point and click and drag and drop, even by the end users, right? And then this basically enables easy way to build studies much faster, right? And our solution is also very modular, right? You can pretty much use any one specific part of the solution. You can pretty much connect with a different part of the solution as well. And most important thing is, the entire solution makes it much more future-proof. So that way, for example, if you want to bring in the trials from different therapeutic area or a different region, different regulatory requirements. The platform can accommodate such changes without changing the entire platform and technology itself. Right. So, and then, integration with the existing systems. For example, if you're already using some of the, systems, like maybe a EDC system or any other system, right? Our platform can easily integrate with those systems to make sure that, we still support the unified data view approach. Though, some of the functionality in terms of the workflow automation in those systems may be limited to enable, but once the data comes in, you can pretty much enable automations. For example, let's say in an EDC, a particular ECRF being completed, and you want to trigger the payment, we can pretty much bring in those triggers into the system, and our system can pretty much automate, trigger those workflow notifications, and in terms of payment generations, or whether it is report generations, so on and so forth. Pretty much, platform can enable those automations as well. So what we are seeing based on our observation is that the customizable solutions like us can have shown 30% increase in operational efficiency by allowing tailored workflows and data tracking. So very quickly, we wanted to discuss a couple of case studies. One of our customer as a medical device company, right? So who has leveraged our unified eClinical solution for monitoring purposes. So they have seen a huge benefit adopting and leveraging these benefits which we discussed about. The results are, as you can see here, so that there are 30% reduction in monitoring cost, right, to enabling the remote monitoring, reduce travel and on-site visit expenses, improve data accuracy and compliance, centralized real-time data, minimized errors and ensure regulatory adherence, and faster trial timelines with automated workflows and proactive notifications, automations where applicable or enabled, for a quicker issue resolution and enhanced operational efficiency. Yeah, so this is another case study where one of our other customers, so the CRO customers, who has been using our unified platform, and they have seen a huge improvement, not just to one therapeutic area, but across their CRO operations, that they've achieved a 40% reduction in monitoring cost, reduced on-site visit through remote oversight, improved data quality, with centralized data, reduced errors and ensured compliance. And also, most importantly, the enhanced efficiency, right? Because this is the most important aspect for CROs, because they wanted to be more efficient in delivering the trials for their customers, right? Automation accelerated timelines and optimized resources which they deployed for each of those studies. So what is the future looks like with the eClinical solutions? So as you can see here, so the AI brings in a huge opportunity for us to further bring in automations as well as the compliance requirements, and also analytics and predictive analytics standpoint, and automated risk identification standpoint. It's a huge opportunity for us. We're currently working on addressing these and enabling these kind of capabilities in our platform. And also it enhances the decision making, and also the real-time data integration, right? So with the various sources, right, comprehensive data ecosystems, right, enhanced transparency across stakeholders, right, improved the patient monitoring capabilities, and also, right, as we know that decentralized trials and approach is becoming a mainstream now. So it's very important to make sure that the investment which is being made for one technology platform can also cater to all different types of clinical trials, not only traditional trials, but also the decentralized trials, hybrid trials, virtual trials, and so on and so forth. So that's a huge opportunity area for customers, right, who are looking at eClinical solutions. And also the greater focus on the compliance and real-time regulatory reporting. So automated compliance checks, for example, real-time reporting to regulatory authorities, right? So the global compliance support, not only one specific agency, but also you can look at multiple agencies across the world, where you can pretty much embed all those regulatory compliance requirements so that you can always be ready and adapt those regulatory requirements in the system. And also the connected platforms process, right? So unification is extremely important, not just data unification, but also the process level unification, because that becomes a foundation for cross team or a cross functional collaboration, and also bring in the process level efficiency to the entire trial process. And that brings in huge visibility of end-to-end visibility for entire clinical operations, so that the entire team can be much more confident and make the right decisions at the right time, and also which brings in huge efficiency in the cost reduction for the overall trial execution. So again, 35% of the adoption of AI and machine learning in the clinical trial is projected to grow by 35% annually as sponsors prioritize. As we know that many sponsors are prioritizing AI as a way for achieving higher efficiencies and reduce cost. So with that, we would like to give you a brief overview of our unified clinical solutions. I know we may not have enough time to show all the aspects, but we are more than happy to arrange one-on-one deep dive demo sessions. With that, I would like to hand it over to Corinne for a brief overview of our unified solution. Corinne.
Okay, yeah, no, really great. Appreciate all the insights and just kind of a really nice summary of where the industry should be heading and kind of how we've already been there. But again, we won't take up too much more time. Just a brief look at the CTMS aspect. There are other things that we could look at in a more of a deep dive from our EDC aspect and other modules that we offer. But we'll just quickly look at the CTMS today. On the home page here, it features a dashboard. This is a great way to see a variety of key metrics in one view, in one screen here. So project management oversight, just kind of seeing what's going on across the system. We can subscribe to these reports and dashboards at any point. Those will get directly sent to the inbox. They can be set at a frequency to be, always informed of what's going on. Your colleagues can get notified of those subscriptions as well. So that's always a nice feature that our customers like. There's also the filterability. So right now we're looking at project management oversight across the entire system. But if I wanted to drill down and specifically pick up the cardiac arrest study, which is what we're going to be looking at, those metrics will update dynamically just to show me what's going on in that particular study. I could add an additional filter for just a site and drill down even further, or a subject. So all of that filterability is available on the dashboards and reports, which is really nice. Homepage also features things like items to approve. We've got monitoring reports that I have to approve, tasks, events. So all those things that you want to action when you first log into your system. We'll jump ahead to our studies here. So right now we're looking at our studies by therapeutic area. This is a personalized view. Again, we've kind of talked about how this views can be personalized. This is one of them. You can view by list view. I'm sorting them kind of by therapeutic area. There's the ability to sort by status, recruitment status, location. So anything you kind of think of there and filter for or sort, that is available through a list view. We'll jump into our cardiac arrest study. We can see our study is set to enrolling. These are just driven by the statuses here. And with that, there can be automations and task assignments or email notifications associated with each one of these steps that's going along. So maybe upon a certain action being done, this status can be updated. So we can configure that according to your requirements. The study is sorted into subtabs, so we'll be going over some of those really briefly. Details just has high-level general information about the study. Planning includes features like generating a list of milestones and tasks. This directly coming from a template. The system is super templated, so saving a lot of time there in creating these milestones, tasks, monitoring reports, budget templates, ECRFs. So lots of templates to save a lot of time there. study teams, trial contacts. So all of these items are in my planning tab. From startup, we're able to send out feasibility surveys to potential sites. We can analyze their responses, even all within the same screen here. So if I look at my surveys that I've sent out in the past little while, generate that, it'll tell me the status, who that went to. I can download a PDF or Excel of that as well to share. We can view all of our responses for a little bit of a more of a further analysis. Metrics always available. Filterability, which is nice. Our first question here is the site interested in participating. We want to look at just yes, and then consider from there, is that site going to be considered feasible based on their responses? So thinking again, just about more of those automations upon selection, there can be, notifications sent out automatically with a templated email that we set up. So lots of automations and workflows that we can think to add to the system to make things just a little bit more streamlined and saving time. Okay, below that, a nice example of, again, a report. We can plunk these in anywhere visually. Study startup documents, checklist here. You can see that this is hyperlinked to our eTMF. So, just touting that unified approach with the eTMF and the CTMS and all of those different operations under one platform. Projections, we have our site activation, patient enrollment projections, the list of all of our sites that are conducting this particular study. We can see their status, how are they doing in their document collection. Our monitoring tab at the study level shows us a report of visually just showing us all of the monitoring visits for that particular study across all of the sites. We can see all of the visits, all of the reports, all of the outstanding items, AEs, PDs. So this is just centralizing all of that information. These AEs might be collected in our EDC, but are, visible within the CTMS under the monitoring. Okay, let's take a look at monitoring at an individual site level. We'll come to site 100 here, conducting the cardiac arrest study. Site details. They have their own startup activities going on, milestones and tasks at the site level, site team members, and now monitoring for them at the site level. Visually, we can see a calendar here. We can see past upcoming visits. We'll jump into a site visit. So as soon as I select the type, the report that generates is going to, the system knows to pick up that report template based off of the visit type. So these sections here that are rendering on screen are based off of that. We would prepare all of those templates for you, and it's just, as Dinesh kind of mentioned earlier, drag and drop on how these are managed. So very easy to maintain those templates and the report templates in your library. So the report itself, it can go through various levels of review. There is even the 21 CFR compliant e-signature there. And then again, talking about how things are unified once that report has been finalized, signed off, it's ready to be filed, it can go directly to the eTMF, at the click of a button. So just again, coming back to the unified approach there. Other things as well, follow-up letters, confirmation letters, all of those are coming from a template. So I can generate those emails very quickly, send those off, and again, upload and generate a PDF, upload that PDF to the eTMF with those pre-integrated modules that we're using. Just again, a sneak peek at some of the monitoring that is available with the CTMS from that aspect. The nice thing is with the EDC, you have the ability, like I said, to pull in ECRFs, to pull in AEs, to pull in protocol deviations, because that data can be flowing seamlessly between the various modules there. We'll finish it off by looking at some dashboards and analytics that kind of give us an overview of how the studies and the sites are operating from different aspects. So looking at our study management, again, we're looking at all studies. I have the ability to filter for a particular study if I wanted to view, drill down and kind of just focus and hone in on that. So study management details, we can see enrollments by site. How are we doing with study startup, essential documents, timelines? We'll pop into the site monitoring, and I'll drill down here just so we can see, maybe we want to just focus on the cardiac arrest study. See those update dynamically. A little bit further, we just want to look at site 100 bar. So very, very intuitive reports there. As an end user, you have the ability to create reports and generate reports, edit them, generate as many as you'd like. There's no limit to the number of reports that you can leverage in the system. So let's come back out. We'll look at all site performance. So lots to look at there, but we are coming to the top of the hour. I won't take up too much more time, as Dinesh and Pooja pointed out. If there are any specific, demos that anybody would like to have of specific features, we can do. We can set that up happily. We can go over any details you want more information on. It seems like there might be some questions as well, so I want to leave enough time for that too.
Yeah, Corinne, while we are looking at the demo, there is one question about how sites can upload the document and can be made visible in the eTMF. Maybe perhaps we can show that through investigator portal, which is a site facing, and we can also show that through eTMF as an internal user.
Yeah, so something we haven't even touched on is the fact that you can extend the platform to various third-party site portals, CRO portals, sponsor portals, vendor portals. We can create those. So this is just an example of that. They can log in. Obviously, it would be different color logo branding, but they can see the list of their studies that they're conducting. Let's go to the cardiac arrest study. So my particular site here has a list of essential documents that are due. So that can be one way to look at that. They also have the access to an EISF that can be leveraged. So a couple different ways that the document collection can be done. There can also be a review and approval process associated with all of the documents that are collected before they actually get filed. So really just depends on the processes of each individual customer that we work with. Dinesh, was there anything specific you wanted to showcase here other than that?
Yeah, and we also have a built-in integrated eTMF. So those documents which are uploaded by the site are visible directly in the eTMF itself. Again, depending on how you want to handle the document. Sometimes as a best practice, our customers use this as a landing area prior to going into the final folder. So you can decide, where that site uploaded documents to land in, and then based on that, after review and approval, and the system can automatically move into a final approved folder with the proper approvals and reviews process.
Any other questions? Anything else that we needed to take a look at live?
Yeah, I think there is one more question here. So in terms of this, seamless, communication between the sites, we also have, the platform comes with the integrated site-facing portal, and that portal also has a collaboration where you can actually exchange all the emails, tasks, to-do list, right? Even chatter-like functionality. As you can see here, these are all the real-time collaboration where site team and your team can have in the real-time basis as well, right? So this can be enabled, and even the entire emails are tracked, and even you can even schedule calendar events, right? So all of those are tracked, as a collaboration activities throughout the system. And there is also one more, question here, which is the how frequency of these real-time dashboards refresh. These are refreshed in real time. You can actually click on a button on the refresh. These are all real-time databases, right? So as you can see here, you can just refresh, and the data is available at your point at any point of time. And so the next question is, do you have any feedback on using Cloudbase in countries with a limited internet connection? Yes, so the internet connection is the 3 Mbps is what the minimum requirements. Other than that, as long as that 3 Mbps internet speed is available from the efficiency and access standpoint, system can be used any other country which is approved as well. So it is also, again, platform also, the solution is built on Salesforce platform. So definitely, it's not only it's available in English, but it's also available in other 16, 18 languages as well, if that is a need as well. So these are the questions we have seen here. We do have 3 more minutes. More than happy to answer any additional questions, or else Pooja, back to you.
Dinesh, there are 2 more questions in the Q&A tab. How are you automating data capture, and how are you going to achieve real-time monitoring? I believe we have addressed that.
Right. Yeah, we do have, just like how we showed, eTMF, similar to that, we also have a built-in integrated EDC, which is a data capture solution. I know we did not get time to go through detail of demo of the EDC, because as you know that in EDC itself is a huge capability area. We are more than happy to arrange one-on-one deep dive EDC sessions, and we can also show you how EDC data capture data comes into the platform. And in fact, we have a separate modular application within the platform for the EDC as well. And also from the monitoring, real-time monitoring standpoint, because it's an integrated system, right? The EDC and the eTMF and the CTMS, all these combined together, and the monitoring is enabled. As we have seen, there's a real-time site portal where the sites can enter all the data in the real time into the EDC, and that data is available for monitoring right away within the system itself.
Awesome. And Dinesh, there was just last question. I know it has been addressed, but can drug supply also be linked?
Yes, so absolutely. Yep. So in fact, we have capabilities including randomization and trial supply management and drug and device accountability as part of our solution capability. But if customers have their own RTSM or randomization or trial supply system, we can also integrate with their existing system as well.
Thank you so much, Dinesh. If we don't have more questions, I would like to conclude the webinar today and extend my sincere thanks to the speakers as well as everyone who have engaged. Please look out for a follow-up email from our end containing the webinar recording, additional resources, and ways to stay connected with the community. Also, please keep an eye on our website for future webinars and events. Should you want to have a detailed meeting, meet the team, or have a demo, please feel free to drop us an email at info@cloudbase.com, or you can also visit our website, cloudbase.com/request-demo. Thank you once again for being part of this insightful journey. We'll meet you next month. Thank you so much for joining in your time today.